Heyo, is there someone? I screamed in the dark, hoping someone would answer me. Hi, I'm Wendy. You want to know how I got myself into this situation? Wait, let me tell you. Before we continue with the story, do not forget to click on the notification button in order to get notified at every new video posted. Thank you. Usually, I am very serious, almost too serious. My days are often divided between work, home, and the gym, so I don't have much time for leisure, let alone love. I barely see my friends, yet we used to do it frequently. All the same, I felt alone and I wanted to get out of this monotony that was about to drive me crazy. So I took my cell phone one lonely evening and called my girlfriends, suggesting that we go out for a drink on the weekend, and they accepted. At last, I could finally mark a new activity on my schedule. It was so refreshing to know that I was going to have fun. The weekend rolled around and I dusted off one of my beautiful dresses and was all set for the fiesta. Krista, Annabelle, and I had a few drinks, reminiscing about our nights out. It was so nostalgic. Then came the fatal question. So, Miss Wendy, what about love affairs? Do you have a man in your life right now? Said Krista in an inquisitive tone. Come on, girls, we're not going to talk about boys now anyway, I said, trying to extricate myself from this interrogation. Come on, Wendy. We're not going to talk about working in a nightclub. Tell us about something we don't know, something juicy, said Annabelle with sparkling eyes. So I had to tell them that I was single and had been for almost 2 years. No, it's not true. My poor thing, how do you keep warm at night? Asked Anna. Duh, with a blanket, I answered with humor. We continued the discussion, and I tried somehow to avoid the subject of my celibacy until fate decided otherwise. A young man approached us with flyers in his hand. He asked us a few questions to find out if we were ready to participate in a television program to find love. Damn, you can't hunt people like that. My girlfriends came back to convince me to participate. Look like fate speaking to you, Wendy, I heard Annabelle say. And he uses a loudspeaker, said Krista, laughing too. I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear anything, I replied. Young man, don't listen to her. Tell us what the concept is all about, said Krista. The young man with confidence explained the concept to us. It was a kind of reality show in which women and men had to meet anonymously in order not to highlight the physical aspect. They would have 2 blind dates to get to know each other before the big reveal, during which the 2 candidates will finally see each other to be able to decide if they will get together or not. Basically, it was nothing too bad, but there was a catch. I work. How do I find time to participate in this game? The young man then assured me that the production could very well adapt to my schedule. Plus, I wasn't the only one on the list, so there was nothing to worry about. So I decided, under the influence of my girlfriends, of course, to register. I left my email address, my phone number, and the gentleman promised to call me back on the coming days. Later that week, I was in the office in the middle of a pile of files. I had even forgotten my registration for the game. Then I heard my phone ring. It was the production of the television channel People Media, which was on the other end of the line. They wanted to know if I was confirming my participation to Destination Love. That was the game. That's when I realized it was serious. I said yes, and they gave me an appointment the following weekend for an interview. In a few minutes, I was set. So that Saturday, I went to the channel's headquarters. And I was impressed. There was a perfect organization. From the logistics to the sets, it was impressive. They first made me take a psychological test to find out if I was mentally fit to participate in the adventure, something that was confirmed. Then, they had me do blood tests to make sure I didn't have any pathologies that could put the other participants in danger, and I was clean. Then I had to speak with the production manager to tell him my limits as to what I could or could not do in front of cameras. All of this in the presence of a lawyer, and when we were done, we signed an image rights contract. It was concluded that I was going to receive part of my earnings from the broadcast of the episodes in which I was going to appear. Great, right? I was totally reassured and confident for the next stage of the adventure that was going to take place for the following week. I returned the following week and I presented myself on the film set for the first date. Once I arrived, my makeup was done and the scene was to take place in a restaurant. But the surprise was that the other candidate and I were going to lunch back to back. So when the time came, I was installed in my place in the restaurant and I ordered rosé. The male candidate arrived in turn and we introduced ourselves, but back to back, of course. His name was Max. He was in his 30s, high school teacher. He told me he was very shy and a withdrawn person, reason why he participated in this game. In my head, I imagined his profile. I imagined a not very handsome man with a big tummy and maybe overweight. That could only be the reason why he didn't have a stable love life. Beyond these assumptions about his physique, he was quite polite and had rather a clear diction. It was nice to hear. Lunch ended and that was the end of our first date. We were evacuated from the filming set one after the other, precisely so that we wouldn't meet each other before the end of the second stage. My impressions were mixed compared to Max. I was satisfied with his personality, but I still had big doubts about his physique. I wanted to go to the end of this adventure, so I accepted the second date. The following weekend, we were to meet at an amusement park, but the production hadn't told us exactly which attraction was going to be reserved for us, so I went there. After the makeup and the installation of the microphones, they took me to the scary room. It was the scariest attraction of all. It had a dark lighting. It looked like it was almost dark. I think it was done on purpose so I couldn't make out Max's face. They made us play the survivor game to test our ability to work as a team. Once inside, my instinct was to find out if Max was there. "Hello? Is anyone there?" I screamed. He answered me and his voice was from across the room. So to meet him, I had to cross a pool of water full of snakes which the production reveals were falsy after filming, of course, a kind of forest full of insects and an unstable turnstile. If only you had an idea of how much I screamed in this episode, you would almost feel sorry for me. Max and I passed the test in a long and grueling hour, but I must admit that he was very protective and mentally strong. He had the mind of a true leader, and that reassured me, but I don't know why my doubts about his physique always had the upper hand on my thoughts. I always felt like I was dealing with an ugly man. My brain was blocked on it. The time to leave the set had come. The production took the microphones away from us and, as usual, took us out separately. The appointment was made for the next day. This Sunday was the day of the prime, during which it was finally necessary to really meet Max. I was impatient but dubious, as from the beginning I arrived on the set and they installed the microphone and all the stuff. This time we had to be on the golf course. I was placed there, asked to turn around and count to 10, which I did before turning around. And there my eyes fell on Max. He was tall, clean-shaven, and above all, he was handsome in addition to having an extremely neat appearance. I was shocked. All my suspicions were false and based on prejudice. Inside, I was ashamed of my way of thinking. We discussed formalities in front of the cameras, but I was looking forward to seeing each other in private. At the end of the episode, we agreed in front of cameras to give each other a chance to get together. A month later, Max and I were officially happily entangled in a relationship. Not only did we receive the license fee for our images, but we were also able to find love. It's amazing how strange love can be sometimes.